What's up, everybody? I came on to tell you obstruction is not the end, it's construction. I'm going to say it again. Obstruction is construction. What are you talking about? If you ever found yourself in a position where it seems like there's no movement, that everything that you touch dies, it molds, you can't get an increase, you can't get no movement, everybody around you getting breakthrough, but you're not, and you just keep wondering, why is this happening to me? Why can't I get a breakthrough? Why can't I do better? It's just a season. And let me explain that season to somebody that's going through it right now. You saying, you know what, I just can't sleep. My mind is just, it's just racing. Every time I try to do something good, it seems like I'm getting a setback. I'm getting a bad doctor's report. I'm a good person. I don't know why this is happening. Well, let me tell you, obstruction is construction. What are you talking about? Many times in our lives, we have seasons, and these seasons are designed to make us stronger. But it ain't no fun when you're going through them. I remember for myself, having been a divorced woman raising children, you know, barely making ends meet, despite having a good salary. I had a fighting with the IRS, paying my bills, everything, trying to help my kids. It just seemed like I couldn't get a breakthrough. My tires was bald, my transmission was coming out, was going bad. It was always something that was happening. I just couldn't understand, why does this keep happening to me? I'm a good person, I'm trying to do right. But at the end of the day, the enemy just kept wearing on me. You're a failure. You can't even help your children. You don't even have your own house. You in an apartment. Every time you turn around, you in an old car. And at some point in time, I felt like, wow, maybe if the enemy wanted to convince me that it was better for my children that I be dead than alive. And I just cried and cried because I knew I was trying so hard. I cried for 3 days. The Lord told me, get up. I called the IRS. The IRS said, if you do 6 payments on time, we'll lift this hold so your kids can get the education that they need. I was like, wow. I was like, okay, cool. That's good. Okay, we straight. Then what happened? I decided I'm going to run for Court of Appeals. I'm on 3 different stations, all this pressure. I ended up retiring. And as I was at my daughter's graduation, I said, wow, I ain't got no job. I'm living in somebody else's apartment I was renting, and I'm driving a lease car. I said, I'm losing. And God said, you winning. But what I didn't understand was that it was a season that I had to go through. He didn't give me no elaboration. He didn't give me a plan. He didn't give me a blueprint, nothing. He just spoke those words to me. And what I had to learn is that when we are going through these seasons, it's like we're a seed. In order for that seed to have a harvest, it has to be destroyed in the form that it's in. See, when you plant a seed, it's just a seed, but it may end up being a bush like this, but it's got to die to the seed in order to bring forth a harvest. That's how we are. The enemy wants us to believe where you are is where you're going to be. You ain't going to get no breakthrough. Ain't nothing good going to happen for you. You're not going to get a promotion. There's nothing. You're going to die where you are. And that's a lie. But the enemy can convince you, and you got to stop thinking about it. You got to say, you know what? I've endured more. There, everybody feel like I'm the only person going through this. The devil's a liar. Everybody goes through a different season in their own way. I felt like I was a public success and a private failure. Here I was, couldn't give my children the basic necessities that I felt that they needed, but it was a lie of the enemy. And what the enemy wanted to do was make me believe that my life was worthless. But God trusted me and put a seed in me to inspire people, to share my testimony, to be transparent, so that there was a time like this that somebody said, you know what? I need an encouragement. And I just don't know how I'm going to go on. I got more debt than I got money. I just don't know. And I'm coming on to tell you tonight, you keep going. Because let me tell you something. The only reason that the enemy is trying to rob you, he don't rob, enemy don't break in abandoned houses. You carry within you a wealth and a strength that you don't even know. You don't see it, but God does. And it has to be developed. It has to be developed. Like that seed. When I took that seed and I put it in that ground, it got to be developed. It got to be in the ground by itself, nobody around it. It got to be alone, because once it does, and once it dies to what it used to be, it will live to what it was purposed to be. So I just want to come on and tell you tonight, you scrolling, you just saying, dang, I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know. Trust God. Listen, God is the author of your story. This ain't number one page, baby. And let me tell you what'll happen to you. You'll look back over your life and understand why you had to go through everything. Why you needed to go through those seasons in order to build you to take you to the next season. I had to understand that. See, my job was all I had. But when that was gone, I had to depend on God. I couldn't run from him no more. I had to run to him. And I had to trust him. And no matter what, no matter how, it was like I was in a fire. The house was on fire, but I wouldn't burn it. And what I had to realize is that this is a season. And that season allowed me to come on here tonight to tell you, don't give up. I don't care how I look. You keep going. Your life is valuable. The only reason the enemy is coming to disrupt it, why? Because there's value in your life. And you got to keep going. And remember, this is only one page of your story. Don't you let it end here. Don't you let the enemy convince you that your life is worthless. Don't let him convince you that you don't have anything else to live for. Don't let him convince you that that's it. It ain't going to get no better, because it is. And you'll look back over your life and you'll say, like I did, thank God I didn't give up. Because obstruction is construction. God building you. He building the house, baby. And this is not your final destination. Be blessed. Enjoy your day and take your butt to bed and go to sleep. Okay? Go to sleep. Bye. I'm retired. Love you.
In a car accident, call Vonda's Law and get the money you deserve. A name you can trust.